are some of the most disturbing Simpson theories that you will ever hear. The Simpsons, an American cartoon giant, simultaneously making some of the best pieces of TV ever written and filmed, at the same time having some of the worst pieces of fiction ever written. But without further ado, we have a grand list here of theories that will rattle your brain on how crazy and kooky they are. We're going to start up with the one that you might already know, and that is the dead Bart theory. That there is an unreleased episode written by the one and only Matt Groening, and according to this episode, according to this theory, this was meant to be at the start of the season, around season 1, episode 12. Apparently, only a select few insiders have ever seen this episode, and its very existence is denied by the creators of the show. This episode has been locked away, never published, because of its quite, understandable, disturbing content. I mean, you can't even say the F word on YouTube anymore. So I imagine that, back in the day, back in the 90s, showing a dead child would be pretty grim. What is the summary, or what would be the summary of this episode, is that the Simpson family, is a very classic story. The setup is a very classic story. At the start, the Simpson family takes a trip on a commercial airline. During the flight, Bart becomes, aggressive, unruly, doesn't respect the commands of his parents, which is pretty typical, for his character. But at one point, an accident breaks out. Bart breaks a window on the plane and is sucked out to his death. And apparently this is not played for a laugh, but this shows an abrupt turn from a usual comedic tone and goes to something much bleaker. After the death of Bart, the family is shown in deep mourning, unlike other episodes where it quickly, after something kind of traumatic happens, it quickly resets to normal. The grieving process is prolonged, shown in a very hyper-realistic way. The family is sobbing and sad. What happens later is that Homer, shuts off from society. Marge becomes emotionally distant. Lisa struggles with depression. Maggie never speaks or truly grows up. Apparently the family's faces at the end, the more and more, that the story progresses, the characters become much more grotesque, lifeless, with hollow, sunken eyes. The most chilling part of the story, if it couldn't get more chilling and sad than this, is the final scene. The family visits Bart's grave, and they stay there and they stand there in silence. The camera pans out to show a desolate spring field filled with empty buildings and tombstones for every character in the series. The tombstones display the names of the characters with their death dates, which apparently aligns with the real world actors. And actually, as the theory goes that the Simpson predicts the future, this predicts the actors' deaths. And it fades to black, saying that we're all dead. Now, this is a good theory up until the point where they go and they all go to the graves and they all show the tombstones of the characters that they say everybody is dead. Because it is possible it is very possible, a very minute possibility that, at the start of the season, if you watch the first part of the season, it's a lot darker. Not to say that it's completely as grim as this, but there is a possibility that you can show the death potentially of a main character. It's Simpsons is not accustomed to the death of, secondary characters. Ned Flanders' wife, but also, Frank Grimes, he dies at the end of the Homer, the best episode in the series, Homer's enemy. It's not impossible for there to be a death. And I think that it could actually have something there where, like, Matt Groening is like, fuck it. I know that, like, if it's season 1, I know my show is failing. Fuck it. I might as well, put everything, all the chips on the table and kill off one of the main characters just for shock value, just for people to remember my name. Obviously, The Simpsons becomes it has become a household icon, an American treasure, but, originally it was a lot darker than I think it is, right now and how we know it. So that kind of gives it credibility, and then it just, the creepypasta, in my opinion, the theory ruins it at the end with this whole thing of, oh, everybody's dead. Like, you obviously know from that, okay, he's not gonna fucking do that, Whatever. Some evidence supporting the myth is apparently, Matt Groening is very shooken and, very distressed whenever he discussed this episode in fan events. There is a missing episode. Season 1, episode 12 doesn't really exist. Nobody really knows, where episode 12 is, and apparently season 1 officially ended with episode 13, and there hasn't been an episode 12. So this is that missing piece. I think that it's a great theory, and it's fun, I guess, but it's very 2012, especially at the end. It could have been much more realistic if you created this story where there was that Bart did die, but, like, it was, and Matt Groening was supposed to show something, but then eventually, like, he had that idea in his head, but it didn't actually come to fruition. Anyway, speaking about Bart, we have another very, very interesting theory for you guys. This is about LSD, and LSD temporarily being injected into the Bart Simpson tattoos. In the late 80s, early 90s, during the peak of Simpson mania, of Bart mania, apparently, just at the start of it, there were origins of LSD Bart tattoos. The rumor claimed that drug dealers or other nefarious individuals, trolls we would refer to them as today, were lacing temporary tattoos featuring the Simpsons characters. And these temporary tattoos were filled with LSD. These tattoos allegedly were distributed for free or sold very, very cheaply to children. Once applied to the skin, the LSD was said to absorb through the pores, causing children to hallucinate, overdose, and I imagine some of them dying. The rumor often cited Bart Simpson due to his rebellious nature and his, mischievous image. Don't you hate it when YouTubers mispronounce words? Mischievous image, which already was controversial to parents. So this added to the controversy. This myth, or this allegation, if you want to play it up, often overlaps with the Blue Star tattoo urban legend. Blue Star tattoos were said to to be temporary tattoos containing LSD that featured popular characters or designs. Flyers and letters circulated among schools, churches, and community groups, warning parents to monitor their children if they ever encounter a temporary tattoo or sticker. Media reports amplified the fear of this, like they like to do. Media loves preying on our fears by occasionally picking up on these claims without truly verifying them, as the media doesn't really verify too much. Symptoms reported. The warnings claimed that children were experiencing hallucinations, confusions, and illnesses after using these tattoos. Some versions of the rumor even suggest that children's died because of it. The truth behind the myth, I would say there's no conclusive, no real verified evidence of these LSD tattoos. LSD is a very expensive drug to manufacture. So unless if you're like very rich, you wouldn't be taking LSD, and you certainly would not be wasting it for shits and giggles to put it on little kids. You would probably find a worse way to do that. This is some awful thing to claim, but you would find a worse way to do that. The rumor was likely, kind of sort of assimilated, was perfect for the tattoos because Bart at the time was an extremely bad influence to little kids. Kids looked up to Bart as like this mischievous guy, and they wanted to do the same thing, pulling pranks, shit like that. So the parents got really upset, and it kind of led into that hysteria that families and parents had. I remember I wasn't alive during the time. I'm a very young guy, but I used to see this Bush speech, not the new Bush, the older Bush, Walker Bush, saying we want our families to be a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons. Waltons being, this TV show with the stereotypical white picket fence, happy white family sipping Starbucks, big golden retriever type vibe. And that was meshing at the time with the Simpsons. I think nowadays we kind of look at the Simpsons as almost that ideal family, but during the time it wasn't really like that. So the rumor persisted mainly because of the idea of Bart's image being that of a troublemaker, eat my shorts, and there's a very famous idea, or that's kind of perpetuated nowadays, is these cartoon characters of kind of mischievous cartoon characters being associated with drugs. I'm sure if you've seen the drugged out Bart Simpson, the drugged out Homer, the drugged out Rick and Morty, drugged out SpongeBob, right? And it also plays with the media, the media being scared of anything that's new, these new animations being very popular with children, but very fearful towards parents. But at the same time, there is that fear of drugs and of youth culture being sort of anti-establishment, and they kind of express that with the Bart Simpson character. But this is largely untrue, even if I bet there are stickers, with these characters, but these are drug dealers who sell them. I don't think they distribute it to kids. It's very disturbing to the idea of children being unknowingly drugged and it also plays on the parents' worst fears. And it reflects a cultural anxiety at the time of youth and rebellion associated with the Simpsons, but also drugs and the influence of big news media. We have another one today. Another great one. Now, this is something that I bet you've wondered through the whole time, through the whole watching. It's something that's been in the back of your mind, but you haven't really thought about it until now. That is the spiky hairstyle of the Simpson kids, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. It's not actually hair. It's their flesh, a weird spore they have on their heads. It's very dark and absurd idea. The reason behind this theory is that the Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, the reason they have spiky hair, and the reason why this theory is persistent, is because the hair of the children in The Simpsons matches the tone of their skin. Unlike other characters, like, Marge with her blue hair, Moe with his gray, beloved hair, this clearly distinctive and clearly differentiated with the kids. People think this is not a design quirk, but actually implements that their hair is not hair and is actually flesh. I think I've seen this bit done a couple times in The Simpsons, where you have a character with a balloon, or a volleyball. I don't remember the exact episode, but a volleyball is thrown at Lisa's hair, and because of her, her star-shaped head, it pierces the volleyball. And it's very weird that they don't have it. It's never explained. And the reason why it's weird is that you have this bit of, the volleyball being pierced by Lisa, but at the same time you have episodes that Bart spikes apparently stay perfectly still when there's wind. His hair doesn't move around. Lisa's hair does not move around. Even when they're underwater, their hair stays the same, as opposed to, let's say, Marge, which you see her hair, come down sometimes. You see it when it comes down. Homer is bald, pretty much, so you don't have much of that. This could either be a error on the animation's part, or maybe it is a design choice that they have these gross spores on their head. I mean, Homer is bald. Why wouldn't his children be bald? That's another question you can ask. In a couple of Halloween specials and a couple of Treehouse horror specials, they often embrace the surreal and grotesque concept that these characters have, with their weird qualities. This led to some fans imagining that the spikes are in fact a part of their autonomy. What are the implications of the theory? What are the results of they having this grotesque, mutant, disgusting hair? If I was a lesser YouTuber, I would have played look at the top of his head and then the guy laughing. I'm sure you've seen the meme. But the implications and the reason behind this theory is, first of all, could be because of biological mutation. Because Springfield is right next to the nuclear power plant, this shows mutation in other creatures, like the three-eyed fish Blinky. This mutation could also explain why Bart, Lisa, and Maggie have this weird, freakish hair, but Homer and Marge do not. Or it could just be a part of the radiation that the average American eats. I mean, you've seen the food that they give their kids. Sometimes it's just this gray blob of smudge. Sometimes it's this disgusting red dye 5 cereal. And it could explain why they have these freakish growth in their hair. The other theory is that it is due to alien origin. A far-fetched theory lies to their spiky flesh. The ties to their spiky flesh is the possibility that the Simpson children are secretly part alien. This sometimes is connected to the Treehouse of Horror Stories featuring Kang and our beloved Kodos, the green tentacled aliens from Regal 7, and they sort of being the real father and mother or whatever of the Simpson kids. I hate whenever there's a theory that Marge is cheating on her husband or the opposite. I don't like it. I like that they have a tie together. I don't like when their bond is separated. I like when Marge and Homer are connected all the time. I don't like the idea of them being separated or whatever. This leads to a horrifying realization that if these spikes are really flesh, this sort of, we can ask the question, do they have nerves? Does it grow? Does it bleed if they cut it off? Or does it break off like bones? Very disgusting. Okay. The impact of this theory is that we have some dark fan art with fleshy nerve spikes, but also parodies of, with the fan community mentioning how freakishly weird their hair is. I think this theory is a great theory, but it's probably not true. It's more of a artistic aspect of the characters. None of the Simpson is really based in reality, believe it or not. So maybe it's just a design flaw, or maybe it's true. Maybe they do have these weird growths. Maybe Bart is actually, his actual father is not Homer. It is Kodos from Kepler 7 or whatever. Now we're going to talk about a real one that is 100% real, and you're going to shit yourself when you see this clip. Let me explain the context behind this. There is a theory that Bart Simpson, or the Bart Simpson voice actress, yes, it's a voice actress, promoted Scientology promoted Scientology, and here's the clip.
Hey, what's happening, man? This is Bart Simpson. Just kidding. Don't hang up. This is Nancy Cartwright, and this is a very special phone call to you. I'm now auditing on new OT7 and have been asked to speak at the Flag World Tour event on January 31st in the Grand Ballroom at the Hollywood and Highland Center at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a blast, man. I will be there to share my many wins as a Solo Knots auditor and to see the Golden Era film presentation of Flag, the Mecca of Technical Perfection. I hope you can make it, man. To confirm for the Flag event, please call us back at 888-841-7131. That's 888-841-7131. See you there, man.
So Nancy Cartwright is the voice of Bart Simpson, is a prominent member of the Church of Scientology. She has been a vocal activist for the religion and has used her public platform to promote it. This is probably why you don't have many jokes about Scientology that don't really touch upon that. In 2009, Cartwright created controversy when she used Bart's voice in an automated phone message inviting people to a Scientology event. That was the video that I just showed you. This blurs the line between the character and the actor's personal beliefs, leaving a lot of fans very uncomfortable, because a lot of people are uncomfortable with Scientology. While Cartwright's actions do not directly reflect the show's creators or the character of Bart, her association with Scientology has led to speculations and rumors that Bart himself, promotes Scientology indirectly. The actress reads a couple of lines differently here and there. And here are some couple of references. I didn't say that there were, I said that there weren't too many references, but there are still some. Obviously The Simpsons has not done an episode where Bart, goes to the Scientology church, and I don't know what they believe. I'm not going to make a joke about what they believe, but professes the admiration of L. Ron Hubbard in front of the Springfield residents, and they all convert, as opposed to, let's say, like a normal Simpsons story where they convert and it becomes chaos, it becomes peace and harmony. They didn't do that. But what they did do is they did a couple of Movementarian, which is based on Scientology, a parody of Scientology. The Movementarians lure citizens of Springfield with promises of enlightenment and a trip on a spaceship to meet with their leader. While the parody, obviously isn't about Scientology, the show sort of critiques manipulative and cult-like behavior, which could be misconstrued or interpreted. I can't believe I mispronounced those two words twice. At a jab at Scientology. Simpsons frequently mock celebrity culture and religion. There are no, they always constantly make fun of religion of various different types, making indirect references to Scientology in various different episodes. But happens a lot less than other ones, I think. Bart's rebellious and anti-authority personality could align with some certain interpretations of Scientology's disdain for traditional mental health practices and institutions, leading to humorous speculation. However, this could not be purely coincidental. Maybe this has something to do with the Scientology claims. Some fans theorize that Cartwright's involvement with Scientology might have influenced a couple of Bart's lines or episodes. A couple of subliminal messages here and there in a couple of episodes would not hurt some to go to Scientology whatsoever. Why this theory persists and why it continues, it's not a theory. Cartwright has donated millions to Scientology and holds a very high rank within this organization. This association keeps her name and, by extension, Bart's character linked to Scientology in public discourse. There's also a huge fascination with Scientology. A lot of see it as a very secretive organization, and its ties to celebrities makes it a frequent subject of curiosity and conspiracy theories. As one of the most, as one of the most famous animated characters, or I would say the most famous animated character. I think Bart could be up there as the most famous animated character ever written. I mean, who do you really have against Bart? You have maybe Tintin, Eric Cartman, Peter Griffin. I don't think they're still on the same level as Bart. I think Bart, even to this day, even if the fall off of The Simpsons is crazy, Bart is still up there. I think, I was about to say one of the great, I think he is the most famous cartoon character there. I think he's on the same level as Mickey Mouse. Anyway, doesn't matter. Because this famous character is so famous, such a culture figure, It's weird having Scientology as the main voice actress behind it. Becomes an easy target for rumors. Obviously, debunking this theory is that Matt Groening never endorsed or promoted Scientology ever. He has full control over the show's content. Nancy Cartwright's personal belief does not really influence the character of Bart. Like I said, I think a couple of slip-ups here and there, wouldn't hurt. Obviously, the satirical nature of the show, it lampoons all religions, including Scientology. Conclusion. What can we conclude? While Nancy Cartwright's association with Scientology has led to rumors and theories about Bart promoting religion, there is no evidence to really support these claims. At the same time, a slip-up wouldn't hurt. That's, I think, what we can say about this theory, is that I think it's kind of in the middle. I think she's probably slipped up, or quote-unquote not has slipped up as much, and she might have promoted a couple of shit here and there. I mean, there's 700 episodes. She has voiced every single 700. She has voiced a prominent role in every single 700. I'm sure maybe she read a line here and there a little differently. Instead of, oh my God, it's oh my L. Ron Hubbard. Something like that could happen. Okay, now we're going to go on another one that's on a deep, deep rabbit hole. The Simpson house is one of the most iconic TV homes in history, but is also riddled with mysteries. One of the most enduring theories that have been created around the house is that concept of missing rooms or unexplained inconsistencies within the layout of the show. Fans have long speculated about this oddity within the show's depiction of the house. Every episode, floor seems to change. Parts of the house are sometimes never shown, or parts of the house are changed. Now we're going to delve into this mystery. The mystery of the missing rooms, ever-changing layout. Over the decades, the floor plans of the Simpsons house has shifted, expanded, contracted, depending on the needs, the plots, or the visual gags. Rooms sometimes appear to disappear without any explanation. For example, a hallway may lead to a new room in one episode and then lead to nowhere in the other, or just that hallway does not exist there anymore. The basement and the attic, while present in some episodes, seems to vanish and disappear in others. Unseen rooms. The fans also speculate that there are some missing rooms in the house that are never shown, but hinted at indirectly. Sometimes Marge has once mentioned a sewing room, which is never seen. Lisa and Bart's rooms occasionally appear to connect to the other hallway or small spaces, but their real purpose is never clarified. A mysterious fourth bedroom. The house supposedly has 4 bedrooms, as noted in some episodes. However, the fourth bedroom is almost never seen, and its real purpose remains unclear. Fans have theorized it could be a guest room, a storage space, or a hidden area, used for comedic effect. Just have a funny missing room here and there. Don't look into it. There's no Jeffrey Epstein flight logs in there. Don't look into the missing room. What could be the possible explanation for this missing room? Plot convenience. Boring. The house layouts changes due to suit the narrative. This flexibility allows the writers to introduce new spaces or rearrange existing ones without being tied to a strict blueprint in the early season. This strict blueprint, I think this is the most boring answer. I think it is due. The other boring explanation is because of animation limitations. In the early seasons, the animators focused on simplicity and accessibility. Detailed floor plans of the house was not a priority, leading to many inconsistencies over the time. Many inconsistencies. This could also be, meta humor and absurdity. The Simpson house often breaks the fourth wall or embraces its absurdity. The missing rooms could be part of a running gag, and the fluidity of the animated world. What I think are the more plausible and more sane answers is, first of all, a hidden horror room. There could be one missing room that contains something sinister, like a hidden lab, a haunted space, or even like a secret escape that Marge has from her family life, kind of like Coraline. Marge goes into this hole and then goes into like a normal family. This, is fueled by some Treehouse of Horror episodes where some strange happenings in the house are very common. There could be another room filled with Homer's junk. Homer loves collecting strange items. The monorail conductor's hat, a giant metal donut, just bullshit. Fans theorize that maybe one of these missing rooms could be junk storage. The most sane one could be a portal to another dimension. Some fans think that a supernatural thing happens where, the house is shifting in layout. The house being shifted is an evidence of a portal to an interdimensional anomaly happening inside the house. Another one we're gonna get to is that maybe one of the holes in one of these rooms could be a camera, and a camera coming from our reality to look into the Simpson household. And we're gonna get that. We're gonna go that theory a little bit. So just stay there. Stay on the track. Stay on this video. The house. Another theory is that the house is alive. People think that the house is some sort of Skinamarink type house. It is alive, it is sentient, it is shape-shifting, and adapts to the family's needs. So it's not a Skinamarink house. It's more of a nice helping house. There are also some weird shit that happens in the fucking basement. The basement frequently appears in episodes, but isn't consistently depicted. Sometimes it houses the laundry area, other times it's a storage space, and in some episodes, it has been shown a massive area of containing entire scenes. Its exact size and purpose always remains unclear. The attic as well occasionally appears, but seems to have no fixed layout. It has been used as storage for heirlooms, but also as a hideout and a living space in certain episodes. Why this theory endures? First of all, viewers' engagement. The ambiguity around this house, the house's layout, invites fans to speculate and create their own little theories, adding various amounts of depth to this otherwise very mundane house setting. The other aspect is why this theory endures. It's because the Simpson house is an instantly recognizable piece of pop culture, and its quirks and inconsistencies keep it as an enduring topic of discussion. Okay, what do I actually think? No irony. That room is I think it's a interdimensional portal with a camera into our reality, sort of like those portals that connect London to New York. We get a look to see at The Simpsons, because without that, how do you explain that The Simpsons exist? It's not just a TV show like Family Guy, it's real life. Now I'm fucking around. Obviously, it's like just The animators don't. I think this is the actual theories that the animators do not care about the house layout. They rather go, they don't really care about the house layout. I hate being the ball breaker, but most theories around TV shows are kind of like, okay, so Bart does not appear in this episode. This means that this is the real episode, and Bart dies after this TV show. This is the real only episode, and Bart is dead. But in reality, it's just the actor was sick, or the actress was sick. It's not. I think some of this can be, but that makes it less fun. I'm sorry for being a ball breaker. We're going to go on to something actually real, and that is Gumbly. Gumbo or Weird Matt. This is a theory often supposed to a real but lost obscure character that has been removed from the Disney Plus editions, but is there in the real Simpson episode. Who is Gumbly? He is the honorary sixth member of the Simpsons family. He is this, this depiction of Gumbly as a vague humanoid figure with distorted proportions, a weird grin, and eyes. Obviously, eyes. Kind of remembers, sort of as a dog. What happens is that it apparently was too controversial for the Disney Plus TV show, so they replaced his scenes with the scenes of the grandpa. Gumbly is often linked to the idea of some lost episodes where he appears, as a character, a member of the family. And apparently some of the scenes are too disturbing to be shown on TV. Gumbly might act sometimes out of sync with the show's humor, often doing some very creepy and weird things just to unsettle viewers. But it's also explained this could be a part of us, like him actually being there could be us to having a Mandela effect, that we remember, we think we don't remember seeing Gumbly in The Simpsons. Or maybe he was there in a couple episodes, but we can't really pinpoint exactly where he disappeared. He also has some uncanny behavior. Gumbly, sometimes he breaks the fourth wall or acts aware, looks directly at the viewer's face. This adds to a lot of his creepiness. He's often described as having no real clear purpose in the TV show, appearing sometimes in the background very suddenly and interacting with the main characters in bizarre ways. In fanfic, in real life, Gumbly sometimes is given supernatural or malevolent, not very good qualities, such as causing strange events or influencing other characters to do very bad things. There's a long history of The Simpsons, and the reason why you don't remember Gumbly is that because the TV show is almost 30 years old, and there's a couple of episodes that you might have missed here and there that kind of explain the real story of Gumbly in more depth. Lost media. Gumbly is there. Now we're going to go on my favorite theory. This is a theory that I love so much. This is the best theory I think I've ever heard in my whole life. I have not been more excited to share a theory in my life. This theory suggests that The Simpsons is real VHS footage. It's not a cartoon animated TV show, but it's actually real and is a hidden reality. It only disguised itself as a cartoon, but it's real. It's real life. They exist in real life, and the events shown in the show are directly recorded from a parallel reality. The animation is just merely a way to disguise the disturbing truth, or soften the blow to show how dystopian and exaggerated the real world might be. The bright colors and cartoonish design and exaggerated humor are intentional distractions to keep the viewer from questioning the real origins of the footage. The theory speculates that the creators might have access. Matt Groening has access to advanced technology and a way to observe the parallel world. Why? Why do you think that The Simpsons can predict everything? It's because it happens in that version of reality. It's not predicting. It is. Why does The Simpsons know about Donald Trump's presidency? Why did it know about smart watches and the advancement of technology? Why did they know about the COVID-19 pandemic? Explain this. It has a consistent style, the same style over 30 years. This just shows that it's real life. It's consistent with our reality. It also has, realistic themes in satire. Many storylines in The Simpsons mirror all real societal issues, often exaggerating with comedic effect. This exaggeration comes from directly observing an alternate timeline where these problems are just more extreme. It's a parallel dimension. The concept of a multiverse, suggests that The Simpsons captures real life in a parallel universe where the laws of The Simpsons apply in real life. That means that the reason why we can see it is that there are hidden surveillance cameras, like I depicted in that hidden room that nobody really goes to, actively observing and recording The Simpsons world. This theory raises existential concerns about whether our world could be also observed or manipulated in a similar way. If The Simpsons is real footage, why not our lives and our daily lives could be real footage to another person watching us? Maybe Homer Simpson is watching you. Maybe he is laughing at your silly antics. Yeah, okay. Obviously. This is one of the best theories out there. There's no gaps in the logic behind this theory. Simpsons is real footage, and nobody can tell me otherwise. It's real life. It's a hidden sort of Truman Show, but in real life type show. Whenever you see a wacky antic, that's just the laws of that universe. It's not a written. Conan O'Brien does not exist. He's a fake. Matt Groening does not exist. All these Simpson guys, they don't exist. When you see Michael Jackson in The Simpsons, you are just seeing a parallel version of Michael Jackson. Okay, now we're going to go on another one. We're going to go on another theory, and that is that Matt Groening is a Freemason. And this theory stems from the broader fascination with secret societies and the ideas of individuals or entities, subtly influence pop culture. While this claim lacks evidence, who needs evidence when you're talking about theories? There are symbols and themes and predictions in The Simpsons, and what this leads us is clues to Matt Groening's alleged Masonic Freemason ties. What are the claims? There are symbols in The Simpsons. The show is filled with imagery and references to Freemasonry. The frequent appearance of the all-seeing eye. Pyramids and other esoteric symbols appear in various different episodes. Scenes featuring secretive groups or rituals such as the stonecutters being very similar to the Freemasons, who at first were masons, and masons are people who build houses, build houses, and that shows that there's a connection there in the episode. This appears in the episode, The Homer the Great. Good episode, by the way. I suggest you watch it. Conspiracy theories argue these elements reflect Masonic ideals or are intentionally placed to promote the influence of the Freemasons. There's also predictive programming. The Simpsons' uncanny ability to predict the future is often cited as evidence of Matt Groening's supposed access to insider knowledge. Some believe this knowledge stems from his deep connection to very powerful and all-knowing secret societies. What is Groening's background? Matt Groening's background, his personal life and career are well documented, but theorists like myself scrutinize his connection and his educational background and success, suggesting that he might have benefited from a couple of Freemason affiliations. Don't believe all this struggling artist nonsense when you can believe in this well-founded theory. Freemasonry is often tied to conspiracy theorists due to its history of secrecy and rituals and perceived influence in pop culture. This inclusion of secret societies in The Simpsons, particularly in a satirical context like the Stonecutters episode, fuels speculation. Maybe it's not a parody. Maybe it's real life, like I said once again, and it could be influencing people to join. There's predictive programming in The Simpsons. And even though there's no real evidence of a Freemason membership that Matt Groening has, his career success is well documented and seemingly stems from his talent and creativity and hard work. But this could all be forged and fake, I think why this theory persists, it's because it's real. The appeal of mystery that we have linking individuals like Groening to secret societies feeds into a larger cultural fascination with the idea of hidden, very real power structures. The Simpsons' longevity and impact, with a deep influence on pop culture and uncanny predictions, The Simpsons is a fertile soil for theories such as this. But also Freemasonry reputation. The Freemasons are associated with mystery and influence, making them an easy target for weird connections. Okay. I'll drop the act for just a split second just to talk a little bit about the conclusion. I'll drop the act like Ziz. I bet you haven't heard that name in a while. Mentioning Ziz in a Hawk-Tuah timeline, in a Chop-Chin timeline is insane. But I will be mentioning what I think about this theory, about the Matt Groening conspiracy, Freemason theory. Is that the Freemasons are supposed to be this powerful collective group of people that control the world. A lot of figures are there, high-ranking officials, and yeah, it's possible that he might be in it. Do I think this influences the show or influences the come-up of Matt Groening? I don't think so. We're going to go back to the essential rest of the theories, and this theory is the very, very popular, but with a different spin. That you heard about the theory Simpsons predicting the future 1,000 times. But how about the real reality, the real theory, the real cocoa melons, the real meat, the real thing is that reality changes itself to align with the Simpsons. The Simpsons create our reality. As one of the longest and most influential TV shows out there, The Simpsons has integrated itself deeply into the public consciousness. This influence may inspire real-world behavior. You know, kids acting a little bit more erratically in the 90s might be because of Bart mania, or maybe inventions inspired by real things happening in The Simpsons, or decisions that subconsciously mimic the show. To explain this theory, I want to give you something that Kanye West has rapped about, and that means that it's important, and that is the law of attraction, which a lot of people think is untrue, a lot of people think it's true, is that the main idea, the main thing behind this is that your mind creates reality. Well, how about a TV show that creates its own reality? What are some examples from the show that could be, that could fulfill this theory? That is the invention of smartwatches, which appear in a 1995 episode, but later on appear in real life as the Apple Watch, but other smartwatches as well. Elon Musk landing a rocket on a drone ship mirrors a 2015 episode featuring a similar event. Musk has openly acknowledged his admiration for the show. If any of you Sigma males out there, Elon Musk said he likes The Simpsons, so if you want to be like Elon Musk, watch every single episode of The Simpsons. Self-fulfilling prophecy. When something appears on The Simpsons, it may plant a seed in the viewer's mind, including those in positions of power or in positions of high creativity. These individuals might unintentionally or intentionally bring these fictional concepts to life. For example, the political campaign that borrows an idea from the show, like Donald Trump being president, which was joked about in a 2000 episode. The tobacco plant, a hybrid of tomatoes and tobacco from The Simpsons, was recreated by a fan using grafting techniques. Grafting techniques is why the human race was created. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go watch my video on Yakub, the creator of the white race. Simpsons as a mirror. This show often exaggerates the existence of trends or explores logical extensions of societal behavior. In doing so, it reflects potential futures that society may have inadvertently steered towards. For example, increasing the presence of surveillance and technology in everyday life is mirrored in an episode satirizing a dystopian and tech-heavy world. What could also be, the philosophical implications of this is life imitating art. This theory aligns with the Baudrillard effect. The theory aligns with John Baudrillard's concept of hyperreality. Don't you hate it when a YouTuber mispronounces a word? The Jean Baudrillard, I hope I pronounced that correctly, where the lines between reality and fiction blurs. The Simpsons as a cultural artifact might contribute to the feedback loop where its depiction of reality influences the actual world. You know, as The Simpsons has satirized nearly every facet of human life, becomes a blueprint for interpreting the real world. People may unconsciously emulate the show's ideas, leading to situations where fiction becomes reality, you know. And here are a couple of examples, if you will. You can judge them on yourself if you think these have any sort of real maintenance in reality. We're going to start off with some technological predictions. Smartwatches, like I said before, in 1995 appear in one of the episodes. The idea of a wristwatch acting as a phone becomes a reality with a device like the Apple Watch. Autocorrect appears sort of in a joke in 1994. You know, an early form of autocorrect, which later on now is a ubiquitous feature in all phones, but not all phones, in all computers. A joke about Donald Trump being president in 2000. You know, this could be a satirical comment, you know, in the Bart to the Future episode, foreshadowed Trump becoming president in 2016. Kamala Harris's, this is the worst one, honestly. Fuck, I had to put it in because it's so bad. Kamala Harris's outfit, Lisa's presidential outfit is the same as Harris's outfit, which I'm sorry, but I think most female politicians have a very similar outfit. I think that the Hillary Clinton outfit very much resembles the Kamala Harris one. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. Also, I saw a couple of interviews in the past. I did this for one of my award-winning memory reboot videos where I remixed memory reboot with Donald Trump, and there are interviews of Trump in the 2000s wanting to be president, where he claims he wants to be president. So it's not a new thing, him wanting to be president in 2016. He wanted to be president long before that. It just never came to fruition. But also, you know, being one of the most famous people in America, you know, it's not that crazy that he could be president. You know, a lot of people say The Rock could be president. A lot of people say Mr. Beast could be president. Logan Paul, you know, a lot of people. It's a joke. It's a common joke. It's not that out of the world. Cultural events, though. Disney buying Fox. This was a joke that was joked about a corporate acquisition years before it happened in 2019. The joke was in 2098. Higgs boson. An equation shown on a chalkboard in The Simpsons was eerily close to predicting the mass of a Higgs boson particle discovered years later. I'm not going to lie and grift you saying that I know what a Higgs boson particle is. I don't know what that is. You Google it if you want, but I don't know what it is. I think also to discuss about the Disney buying Fox. I think it's a common thing, you know, since the 90s that Disney just buys everything it sees. Disney buying Fox isn't that crazy of an idea, I think. Even if it kind of seems like these theories, they seem crazy when you say, if you don't take in context of the time, like Disney was always buying shit, even back in the day. And also, over 700 episodes, The Simpsons touched on every single conceivable topic. Predictions are likely rather to be coincidences rather than evidence of reality being influenced by the show. But I still think that there is a part of that, of The Simpsons. Something influences you in The Simpsons that could be a part, something influences you Like it's The Simpsons, you keep that in mind and maybe you use that later. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something. I think I did a good conclusion about that. Thank you so much for watching. This is the end of the video. I really hope you had a good time with this episode. I think we've gone on a couple of unhinged and very dark conspiracies, but a lot of lighter ones. If you liked the channel, if you liked what's going on here today, then don't forget to like. And I think you know the other one. I think it's something that rhymes with babibe, something that rhymes with dike and babibe. I don't really know exactly what you're supposed to do. And apparently you're supposed to ring something. So ring it if you want to. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good rest of your day. I imagine some of you are probably sleeping right now. Maybe only your subconscious can really hear me, but I hopefully that you have a good rest of your day. If you're gaming while watching this video, then have a good game. If you're sleeping, have a good rest. If you're watching this straight up, have a good day. And if you're eating while watching this, have a good meal. You deserve it, my friend. Okay? See you so much. You're the best. Thank you for watching.